Your Excellency and members of the audience, our presentation basically is going to touch on item number 14 on the list, that is the FCT administration. And it's a very simple presentation. Basically what we want to reaffirm and reconfirm and applaud is the position of the founding fathers that created the Federal Capital Territory as a center of unity for this very beautiful, great country. It's one location in Nigeria where once you come in, it is home. Nobody cares where you were born, when you were born, who born you, who, and all this other related. It's a place where everybody is a citizen and everybody is a resident. And I think this is what should resonate in Nigeria. We should now know that we are one indivisible country, created by God Almighty. And once we agree on that, and we cement that, and we develop that, then the sky is going to be our limit. So basically, this is the background of our presentation. But as you know, the Federal Capital Territory is an area of 8,000 square kilometers, divided into two basic entities. The Federal Capital City, which is about 250 square kilometers, and then the remaining 7,750 square kilometers. So to strengthen the administration, it's very important that some aspects of the Constitution needs to be amended so that the position of the Federal Capital City should be clearly appreciated, so that laws and regulations and permits and everything that you do with respect to governance should be vested in the Federal Capital Territory administration in the area designated as the Federal Capital City. And in so doing, it then becomes very important to amend Section 7 of the Constitution and insert, especially as you know, and insert a section, maybe 7.5, that will say the functions to be conferred by law upon area councils may include those set out in the first schedule of this Constitution, and where so conferred shall be performed outside the Federal Capital City. So that once there is a distinction, then within the Federal Capital City, there will be no two authorities. What happens now is, as we are seated here, if the Senate President is driving out, if not because of his police escorts, a staff of a local government can stop him and ask him whether he has paid his 100 naira development levy. So I think these are things that should not be handled in the Federal Capital City. Or for instance, a diplomatic vehicle will be passing and somebody called a marshal that is supposed to be collecting revenue from taxes will stop you and say, why is your bill? Or you go to a senator's house and say, I have come to collect television license fees. And if you don't do that, based on the Constitution, because the law says that the area councils or local governments are those to collect TV and license fees, then the courts will give judgment and the house of the senator or the minister or the messenger will be padlocked by a consultant simply because he have not paid television license fees. So we need to have this very clear-cut distinction. 2,050 square kilometers is territory called Federal Capital City and is going to be run under the Federal Capital Territory Administration. Then all other areas out of that demarcation can then have these laws applied. So basically this is what we think. If that is done, it will reduce the duplicity of roles, conflict, and mismatches in planning, provision infrastructure, and service delivery within the Federal Capital Territory. The proposed amendment is aimed at addressing the aforementioned problems. And of course, the area councils, which in other parts of the Constitution are considered as local government areas, will continue with their roles. However, this will be outside the area demarcated as the Federal Capital City. Secondly, Your Excellency, distinguished members, we also propose that Section 301 of the Constitution should also be amended so that reference to persons, offices, and authorities of a state where references to the persons offices and authorities of the Federal Capital Territory Administration with the like status, designations and powers respectively. Because the current position is, while Section 299 considers the FCT as if it were a state, some of these offices that are so critical are not well defined, and there is a gray area which brings some misunderstandings from time to time. And that is why the current provision does not give full effect to Section 299 of the Constitution. As such, requires an amendment that will effectively empower the Federal Capital Territory Administration functionaries to discharge their responsibilities statutorily, included but not limited to those specified by presidential orders and other amendments that may come from time to time. Thirdly, with respect to the demarcation of the federal capital city, as so earlier indicated, from the other areas, then obviously the present location of the Abuja Metropolitan Area Council from Garki will have to move to some other area outside the geographical entity earmarked as federal capital city. So this, and then finally, Your Excellency, it's very important that we propose that the Constitution should recognize and define an adequate and unhindered funding source for the federal capital city. Because of what I earlier said, this is a place carved out 41 years ago for all of us, a place whereby everybody feels at home, and it's a home for all of us, where nobody will say he is a citizen or non-citizen. We are all citizens, but funding is a big challenge, and this is so because up to now, the city, even 41 years after creation, is a work in progress. And I will give you one or two examples just now. And basically, of course, like I earlier said, Abuja, unlike any other city in Nigeria, is home to a multitude of residents, which provides a common identity, common access, and common citizenship for Nigerians, irrespective of location, state, or grid. As it is presently constituted, the Federal Capital Territory is made up of 196 districts already earmarked and planned, which includes 92 districts in the Federal Capital City itself, and the balance in the other area councils. Since the establishment of the FCT in 1976, only 10 districts have been fully developed with infrastructure. 12 districts partially developed and 70 districts undeveloped. The 104 districts in the area councils which make up the other part of the FCT are yet to be developed. Yet, every day, whoever comes to Abuja never goes back. And after the cycle of elections, after every 4 years, new ministers come in, a substantial part of the National Assembly are new members, new executive, new officers. Everybody comes with his people and automatically settles in Abuja and becomes a citizen. So if we do not constitutionally provide a very viable funding option for the city, I'm afraid to say that in times to come, Abuja will just become one mega slum. So it's very important that we take this into consideration. And finally, distinguished President of the Senate, distinguished Deputy Senate President, Abuja, the federal capital city, is still essentially a work in progress, and a lot more could have been achieved if and only if a robust and well-structured funding arrangement had been established and guaranteed by the Constitution. The absence of a guaranteed funding for the provision and maintenance of infrastructure in the FCT will ultimately, like I earlier said, translate to birthing a huge urban slum. I rest my case. Thank you very much.